I have two questions for you guys. One, how many of you guys have been misgendered? And two, how many of you guys have called someone transphobic for it? If you are trans, every single one of you should be saying yes. My tongue is blue. It's gonna bug me. But anyway, we are entering 2024 with a whole new mindset. Now you guys are probably wondering why I just asked these two questions. This alone is why we as a transgender community are burning our bridges with our allies. Yes, we are burning our bridges with our allies, and we have got to stop doing that. And I know a lot of trans people, myself included, are guilty of that. Before we hop into it, my name's Kyle, aka Prince Kyle, don't forget it. And I have an Instagram as well as a TikTok where I share my female to male transition, as well as give tips to anybody that would like to hear about it. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because I saw a video the other day on TikTok and it kind of frustrated me, and it made me realize how sensitive the trans community has gotten. This sensitivity is driving people insane to the point where they don't even want to be allies anymore. Like, at all. So in the video that I saw, this cisgender gay man who was an ally, he went into a store and he saw someone that looked to be a transgender woman. So he went up to this person and he said, "Excuse me, ma'am." Now this person turned around and bugged out on this cisgender gay man and said, "You are so transphobic. How dare you misgender me?" Mind you, this person also said that today they identify as a woman because they're feeling extra feminine today, and sometimes they'll feel masculine and sometimes they don't really feel either or. They're kind of fluid. And the first thought that ran in my mind is, how was this gay cisgender man supposed to know that this person identified a specific way that day? How would that person know? You guys, me as a transgender man wouldn't even know how to identify that person without them telling me prior. If I saw someone that I thought was a woman, I might accidentally slip up and automatically say ma'am or sir if I thought it was a man. Like, it's very typical for a person to just automatically blurt out what they see. At the end of the video, this cisgender man said, "You know what, I don't even care anymore. The trans community has become way too soft. Every time they have a chance, they're always saying that I'm transphobic and I'm just so done with the community, like they're on their own, I don't even care anymore." And that was the end of the video. It pretty much just ended in this man being an ally, and from that encounter, no longer being an ally. And I see this happen more often than not. A lot of the times, as a transgender community, it's been happening all over the place. I see it all the time. We are claiming that people are transphobic before even giving them a chance, and that is steering people to actually be transphobic and to no longer be an ally to our community. And it's horrible. It is utterly horrible. Me as a transgender person, even I have times where I'm very unsure how someone identifies. And there are times where I'll be in public and I'll be like, maybe, but maybe not. And for me, because I am trans, I have a different approach because I kind of understand what it's like because I'm a trans man. I don't understand what it's like to be non-binary, but I have probably a better understanding than someone who's cisgender. So when I see someone where I'm kind of iffy, I know to either automatically call them they, them pronouns, or I just avoid using pronouns at all. I'll just avoid them. But for this cisgender gay man, at the end of the day, he's cisgender. He may not understand how to go about something like that. And for that person to automatically assume that this man was transphobic is ridiculous. Because now look, now he probably is turning into someone who is transphobic. And it all could have been avoided. Going into 2024, we have to change our mindset. we have to take a different approach and we have to educate. Now, I know it's not all of our responsibility to educate people. I know some people don't feel comfortable educating people, and that's fine. But for me, as a transgender content creator, not transgender influencer, because I'm not influencing people to be transgender. I want to make that clear every single time I have the chance to. But as a transgender content creator, I love being a face for part of the trans community. I love putting myself out there. I love educating people, and I love making people turn their heads like, oh wow, like this dude's just a normal guy out in society, not doing nothing. I wouldn't have even known. And I like doing that because it's helping to normalize who we are, because obviously we're not going anywhere. So I like to be a face and I like educating. Now, I know, again, not a lot of people do, and there's a lot of people that like to live stealth, which is also fine. But in a situation where someone misgenders you, if you are that upset about it in that moment, take the time to educate. Because the only way they're gonna stop is if you tell them your proper pronouns respectfully, without getting mad, without getting butthurt, without getting in your feelings, and just by saying, hey, I actually don't identify that way, I identify this way. Can you please refer to me as such? It could be as simple as that. Now, if they still go out of their way to be ignorant and hateful, then of course, yes, they're transphobic. That's literally the definition of transphobia. Like when someone does not accept you as you are, although you've taught them and told them who you are. That would be transphobic. But if someone just simply did not know, and they didn't know you prior to this conversation, and they accidentally misgender you, you could not jump down their throat and just assume that they were supposed to know. That's not fair. That's not fair to anyone. Because if you were to put yourself in the shoes of someone who's cisgender, you would not know. That's not like, trans topics are not really your number one priority to learn, and you don't really understand, for the most part, what it's like to be non-binary, what it's like to be a trans man, what it's like to be a trans woman. You wouldn't know firsthand. And I feel like us as a trans community, we are so quick to just assume everyone gets it. And it's like, how can they get it if we're not teaching them? How can they get it if we're just saying, you're transphobic because you don't get it? Like, that's literally what it's turned to. It's literally turned into people saying, you're transphobic if you don't understand. And then there's other people that are like, well, there's Google, well, there's this, well, there's that. Yes, you're right, and that's great. But when you're face to face with someone and you're having an altercation in that moment, right there is the perfect time to educate respectfully, because it'll go so much further than you just being hateful and telling them to go to Google or go to this. No, just be the bigger person. Use your words, educate, be respectful, and stop throwing the word transphobia everywhere. 9 times out of 10, they're usually not until you call them transphobic. Then they're like, you know what, screw you, you're right. I don't like trans people. I don't care. You guys are crazy. You guys are weird. That's when they start to be extra transphobic. Obviously, too, we do have our actual transphobic people, like our trolls and the people that really like express that they don't care for trans people. Yes, but they're their own breed. We're not worried about them. I'm just talking about your average person that just happens to walk past you and says, excuse me, ma'am, and you actually are a sir, or says, excuse me, sir, and you're actually a ma'am. Before you get to that level of pissed off, let's just take a deep breath and analyze the situation. It's crazy, you guys. Like, it really does suck. And I see it all the time on my platform. A lot of my comments, if you ever have a chance to see them on Instagram or TikTok and sometimes YouTube, a lot of my comments are just the trans people against the non-trans people. And again, sometimes there's trolls, and I love my trans supporters who bite back to the trolls, because like I don't care to do it. Like I really don't care enough. But there's also the war between the trans people and the people that just aren't educated. And it's like, I use my platform to kind of draw those people in so they can be educated, because sometimes it does kind of start out with a little like transphobia, where someone's like, I don't really understand this trans crap, like I don't really care to be bothered with it. But then they see creators like me and other content creators who are trans constantly just being themselves on the internet and just kind of explaining like, this is how we go about things. This is what transitioning looks like. This is us going to the gym. This is us building and raising a family. The more they see this and the more they see us being positive about it, the more likely they are to join the ally side and either step away from the transphobic side or just continue to be an ally. Once we take that away and they just see hate in the comments of everybody saying, you're transphobic, you should have known my gender, like, be for real, guys. Like, we will be accepted by far more if we just have a softer approach, a more respectful approach, and obviously we can act accordingly. It's obvious when someone's being blatantly transphobic. Those people, yes, you can handle them accordingly and do what you need to do. But the other people where they simply just don't know, you can be respectful. There's no reason that we need to just be calling out, you're transphobic. All we're doing is pushing away people who might be considering coming over to the ally side, or people who were already so embedded with the ally side but have just been fed up because they've been called transphobic so many times. We can't keep doing that. Ooh, this ocean water's hitting. That's really all I wanted to talk about today. That video, it just really frustrated me, and I feel sorry for the cisgender man that went through this experience. Like, it's not fair, and most people in public don't know I'm trans, and God forbid I accidentally misgender someone. That would be the craziest situation, because it's like, you just called me transphobic because I was not sure of your gender, and it just naturally came to me to say that you're this, and now you're calling me transphobic. Little do you know I'm transgender. Like, we're getting to a point where it's just gonna start crossing over to where people are claiming trans people to be transphobic. Like, it's just ridiculous. We don't want to lose people who are gonna help normalize and accept us. We don't want to do that. Like, that'd be crazy. So again, if you are anyone who has gotten in your feelings because you were misgendered and threw the term transphobic on someone's head, then please, going into 2024, let's change our mindset. Let's go into things open-minded and realize that not everyone understands what it means to be transgender. And I promise we will make it in the end if we can just show a little more love and compassion. If you made it this far in the video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're almost to 50,000 subscribers. Make sure to click down below. I have some merch. I have some t-shirts, some hoodies, really cool designs. If you're interested or know anyone that's interested, please make sure to check out the site. And if you do end up purchasing something, make sure to take a picture in it so that I can shout you out on some of my upcoming videos. Stay true, be you. Bye, guys.